live from the field. It's a 3/4 full moon situation out here, and we've got good cloud cover tonight, so we're gonna get out and try it. Took the Ranger back to this field. It's been nice and dry, so we can cut down on some of the walking. Just getting geared up, getting ready to go out. Stay with us.
Now you guys will notice we took the Ranger out in the field tonight. It's been dry conditions. We closed the distance quite a bit by slipping in.
Jamie's going out to set up the electronic collar. We're gonna set it about probably 40 yards upwind from us and draw these coyotes out in front of us. They gotta come out in front of the call to get the wind, and when they do, we'll be sitting close by, so we're gonna intersect them. I'm gonna let Jamie do the calling on this first set. He's got the electronic collar, getting ready to set it up. So, here we go, get ready to get started.
Now when you're hunting at night, you want to set that electronic collar out away from you. Make sure you put it upwind enough so that when that coyote or fox comes to get the scent of what he thinks is a distress animal or a coyote, that he has to come in between you and the collar, and then it spells lights out. You got to be able to see downwind. This is where a coyote makes his living. A good shotgun is handy. You should never leave home without it.
We're out here in this another huge cornfield, and we're trying to do the best we can with visibility that we've got. Because even though the corn's taken, it's still sticking up a couple feet. So you gotta be able to see the downwind side really good.
Now, even though we've hunted this field countless times, the corn has just been taken, and it's a different scenario. There's stubble sticking up 2 to 3 feet tall. I'm going to have to make a decision soon, stick with where I'm at, or take the chance on letting the coyote get downwind and getting our scent. Here in just a minute, I'm going to have to get aggressive.
It's a big field to try to cover everything in. I've killed 2 off of this property here within 4 days. One coyote within 4 days of the other, and called in other things since then. So we're back at it again.
300 yards out, here comes a coyote.
So we just picked up our first set of eyes out here about 300 yards out. Jamie said, I'm watching the downwind side, so.
Now once you pick up that set of eyes, don't ever move your light until somebody's got him in the scope.
They're gonna play the game. Try to get downwind of us. It ain't gonna happen, not on my watch. Still see it. Just saw it for a split second. Keep your eyes out. So what I did is Jamie saw a coyote out here, 300 yards going downwind. I could see the downwind, but not like I wanted to. So what I done is I cut the distance. I walked about 100 yards on over further where I could get to a high point, which is, I thought, is what we had when we started. But these fields can be deceiving, and I've moved away from Jamie. He's going to a coyote in distress sound now. See if we can get him to pop up, and I'm gonna take him.
One thing I've learned over the years is don't ever be afraid to be aggressive. I grab all my gear, shuffle up the field about 100 yards, found me a high point, and set back up.
You gotta get aggressive on these coyotes, man. They do this for a living every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If I gotta get up and move 100 yards while we've already made a sound with our caller, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna chance it, because if he gets downwind, it's over. There'll be no coyote in the back of the truck. If he gets downwind, I don't care what kind of scent killer you got on. You might stall him for a second. You might do a real good scent prevention, but you're not gonna fool a coyote's nose.
Now we're going to head on over to the tailgate, try to bring you up to speed on what's coming up next. Hey guys, we're going to do a little something different on this video. We're going to take you kind of behind the scenes, show you some footage from last night. We got a full moon scenario right now, actually about 3/4. You get a couple hours after dark to do some productive coyote hunting. And then when that moon gets up, it's like they just shut off. It's always been like that for me. You don't have very much luck. But we did get out and managed to get a red fox again last night. Man, the red foxes are everywhere around here this time of year. And this year, it's just, the numbers have just increased like crazy. So we got another red fox last night. So what we're gonna do is just bring you some footage of kind of the way that it just all panned out. And we had a new guy with us last night. He's been with us in the past, but don't see a lot of action from him. It's Big Mike. So Big Mike's gonna come in. He's gonna bust this red fox, and he ends up getting a coon also. So pretty good night. I'm considering the full moon. Just want to kind of take you guys behind the scenes. I get a lot of questions. A lot of people are asking me, what are you doing with all these coyotes? And what are you guys doing with these foxes? So I want to kind of take you into the fur shed on this episode and just kind of show you, what we do with them, the process of it. We're going to show you some neat footage. We've got our fur guy, got him, on there, and he's skinning out some stuff. So just kind of talking about the fur market and different things. We just want to show you guys what we're about, and hope you'll take something away from us. Hope you'll learn a few things. We're gonna this season is just gonna be, we're gonna get out there. We're gonna take you through the scenarios of your hunting clothes, getting out of a vehicle, being quiet, that sort of thing. We're hunting out of these Polarises a lot. Getting out of your vehicle, your setups, checking the wind. Where do you want to put the call? Where do you want to put the caller? Are you going to use a mouth call versus an electronic call? Which gun am I going to use? Where am I going to sit my buddy? And where's the coyote going to come? How do I know if there's coyotes there? Just going to run through every scenario with you. Hopefully teach you something. We're gonna bring you episodes of coming out of the truck, going to the field, setting up, calling them in, shooting them. What do you do after you shoot them? Just kind of the whole sequence, and hopefully teach you a few things. It's going to be a wild ride. Right now I'm going to take you for a little inside scoop inside the fur shed, and hope you guys enjoy it. Check this out.
Not mine as much as they did at one point. And I say, China's starting to come back now. They're starting to buy again pretty good. And the good news is, according to what I read yesterday, is they sold 100% of all the fur that they had on cold storage.
Which I made it again.
Which they, 2 years ago, there were over 2 million raccoons in cold storage.
Ooh.
Now all those they've sold, but they haven't been processed yet. So next year, prices should come up quite a bit. But this year it may not, just for the fact that they've got to process everything that they just sold.
So how you like to cook your raccoons?
I've never eaten raccoon. I'll tell you something that's really good if you've never had it.
Possum?
Beaver.
Really?
I like beaver.
I was a kid, and my dad took me to a fur taker rendezvous up, I think it was up Columbus. I'm not sure. I know it was 7Bs. And they had a hog on a spit, and right beside the hog, they had a raccoon on the spit. And they cooked that on open fire on a spit. And then after they did that, and I just sliced it off and ate it like you would roast hog. It was some of the darkest, sweetest tasting meat of anything I ever ate in my life.
Yeah.
It's a real sweet like. Texture was kind of like beef or pork, but it was really, really sweet tasting. I really liked it. Another thing that's really good is groundhog. We had a meet out in Scottsburg one time, and that's before I moved to Florida. And my son, he was 5, I think. I took him over there. Shit. No, too late now.
That's the only way to do that.
I normally wring my legs, front legs. So right there it'd already be pulled out.
Oh,
I usually wring them before I...
we got you talking, didn't we?
Yeah, I got talking and didn't pay attention when I was doing it. But I can do it like that. Roll them up like that and then cut them. But he was 5 years old. We went over there. He spent the day with me. And it's 10:30 or something like that. Dad, I'm hungry. We had a hog that we was going to have for supper.
Now, I'm a firm believer in using an electronic collar at night, but sometimes I like to break out the mouth call. Yeah, there we go. We can see him now. Go up there and talk about him. What was it, a female?
Female. Female.
Female or red fox?
I bet that's 10 pounds. We ain't
I've got scales.
get them out. Let's see.
They're,
That's a heavier one we've killed this year.
Take your light over in my gun bag. On the side pocket, they're scales. Yeah, that's probably the bigger one. How many have we killed? 4? 3, 4?
Got 4
4 red foxes.
within
Last year,
mile or two here.
Where's your
there's a side pocket on it.
There you
A
go.
zipper.
is your safety on?
Yeah.
We'll set it right here.
Like I said, we were overrun with red foxes this year. Let's see how old
Couldn't
it is.
kill one last year. They're all here this year.
I hope we don't kill them off.
It ain't looking like it. It ain't
No.
looking like I don't think this is that last one that me and you
No.
seen, Jamie.
I don't think so.
We had a good shot on him. Is that the exit hole?
In and out right through 223.
Ooh, hello. Now, if you're targeting red and gray fox and you're trying to keep the pelt, a 223 is about as large a caliber as you need to go.
Hard as a
Pretty.
firecracker. Is she hot? Oh yeah.
I don't know, Jamie. Stick your nose in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of hot. Yeah. There we go, the official weigh-in.
I guess I'm maybe full of shit.
Hold on, let's see. No way.
That don't seem right, does
Let's
it?
see
4 pounds, 4 1/4.
That don't seem right.
Which bigger than
that.
that?
Reset it. You got to reset it or something.
Zero it back out.
Yeah.
A little dog we got at the house, Max, weighs
Hook
like
that on
7
that
pounds.
10
Put it
in
on
right
there
there.
for him, Jamie. We got a malfunction in equipment here because I know it weighs more than 4 pounds.
That one right there.
Boys, I tell you what.
Huh?
4.25.
Oh,
430. I don't know, but it felt heavier than that dragging across there. Maybe I was just all hyped up.
Weigh something else. It, you got a pretty good idea how much they got backpack weighs. See if them scales are off.
I don't know.
I would have thought this fox would have weighed 5
Good.
pounds.
What kind of bullet did you use on it?
That Hornet 223.
Ballistic?
Varmint round.
Put a heck of a hole in
That'll stitch up though. I
Yeah.
can still see the flat.
Yeah, you can. I'd get her mounted.
But that'd make a good set down. You know what I
there.
mean?
Yeah,
Where they get them like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
those are cool.
Yeah. Look at the blood on the tailgate. That might
That's
be
a good thing.
That might be first blood this year in that tailgate.
It is. No, I got that deer that.
I think Keith's round. His
Dad.
scales are off.
Could be. That's what I say. What?
My 40-pound coyote only weighed 30, I think.
No, it weighs 38 pounds. Full moon. Coyotes sure do hate a full moon. We got lucky and caught this Pretty red much. right after dark.
Yeah.
We'll get technical and say 7/8 of a full moon.
7/8.
Well, I have to introduce Big Mike. People don't know him.
Is that by
he's our
chance the
backup.
first kill you have with that Predator Tactics
Big
light,
Mike.
on
Oh, yeah.
yours?
How
It
far
is.
was that? It's
No,
100
that's a Mike's not. Mike's he's cheating. He's using a wicked light.
Is
The
it?
wicked.
No, we got to throw it out there in front of it.
There you go. I ranged it at what was
129.
129.
Yeah.
Good shot.
I'm just full of shit on all of it. I said 200.
Well, the valley throws you off too.
That seemed like a longer walk, but I'm fat, so it's a problem.
I'm real fat. Let you go get it.
Yeah. Let the guy who didn't even shoot it climb the barbed wire electric fence and get down in there and get
You
it.
should have seen him when we got them 3 coons.
Oh,
Oh, there's a cliff right there. It's steep.
first
On to the next one, I guess.
On to the next one.
Man, Big Mike came out of nowhere and smashed that red fox. That was awesome. 129 yards. This guy, he's a buddy of ours, and you know, he gets out every once in a while with us, and he's a little rusty, but I tell you what, he put the smack down on that red fox. Couldn't have been happier for him. He's actually getting it mounted, so it was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome deal, and anytime we can take one like that, you know, we're all for it. So just continuing on from earlier, we're going to teach you guys step by step what we do, daytime sets, nighttime sets, the different ways you use sounds, the different places you set your sounds to call. We're going to teach you the rifles that we use, daytime versus nighttime. We're going to teach you about a shotgun. I'm gonna tell you something. This is actually my backup coyote shotgun here, and I got another one that's just trained just to eat on them. It wants to get on them and eat on them. But this one here is a backup. The reason I've got it for a backup is, number one, sometimes you're going to need a backup shotgun. But the reason I'm using it right now is we were out hunting one night. I think it was me and Jamie. We'd taken a red fox and knocked off the front side of my shotgun. Haven't gotten it repaired yet. But this one's set up, and I just want to give you guys a little look-see here. You'll notice got this light on the front. This is excellent for nighttime hunting. I'll just give you a little look-see there. This is a 1000 Cree amplified light, red lens only. I've got it mounted to the barrel here. We've got a Randy Anderson dead coyote choke in this gun, and it's loaded with, right now I've got the Hornadies in here, the coyote loads. The Benelli that I use, I'm using the Winchester coyote loads in it. I've got a Carlson dead coyote choke. You want to keep the tight patterns for your shotgun. You want to keep the good loads. A lot of guys, you hear them talk about using double aught buck and number 4 turkey loads, that sort of thing. I tend to avoid that kind of thing. To each his own. If that's the load you guys like to use, that's great. If it works for you guys, that's great. I tend to like a T-size shot or bigger. Winchester, they make a great coyote load, and that's what it's specified for. And then also the dead coyote loads. You know, through the Benelli and the Carlson makes a great coyote choke for these shotguns. So a 12 gauge I prefer, a 10 gauge is great. Anything less, I really don't feel like it's what you want to do. Some people, you know, they take a 410 out. That's great. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to prefer a 12 gauge or a 10 gauge. This is a pump, a semi-automatic's great. We've got a semi-auto in the team. Just purchased an AR-15, and it is mean medicine. Just put a new choke in it the other day. It's got the super full, and you can get 10, 15 round drum clips for that thing. I think we've got a 5-round clip in it right now, but it ate on some coons last night. I'll show you guys the footage there. And just a rule of thumb, and the reason that I brought this out is, don't ever leave home without a shotgun. Because just when you least expect it and you think you've got this figured out and that figured out, and the coyote's going to come from here and he's going to come from there, and you're playing the wind and you got everything right, and you look over 15 yards and there's a coyote standing right there looking at you, and that's where you're just going to want to swing up and take him out. Same for a fox. Foxes have been running us over this year. We've had a couple stands. As soon as we hit the call, we had, it might even be a record for us, but 15 seconds. 15 seconds this year. As soon as we hit the electronic caller, we had a red fox just about run over top of us. And we had scanned the field prior to the hunt, so it's something we like to do. We like to sit down, get our sticks set up at night, you know, scan the area with the light, see if we see anything, shoot some distances with the rangefinder. But we'll get into all that later. We're going to bring you a lot of information in these videos, to and from the field, behind the scenes, fur shack. We're going to take you out on these Polarises, different ones, and just kind of show you how to do some scouting and just get you in the field. So you guys stay tuned, follow us all season. We love to hear from you. Give us a like, share us, and we'll see you in the field.
That's a pretty good shot for Mike, shooting that fox.
Yeah.
He ain't been hunting with us.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's been since he's been with us.
It's been a while.
129 yards.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of UTV action this year, and a Polaris side-by-side is the only way to go.
Almost a full moon.
Having 4 in the group is
We're out
just
here
a
chasing
bonus.
Raccoons and foxes. Coyotes ain't doing too much. They can't hardly get them to do much on a bright moon. We got one red fox down so far. On coon patrol. Got the side-by-side there. Taking care of some of our walking for them.
This particular field here is hundreds of acres big. Having these side-by-sides cuts our walking distance in half.
Yeah, do some locating. MFK sounds pretty good, ain't you, Jamie?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Doing some locating. Hopefully calling them down out of the tree. Ready to get out and get set up.
Listen.
Both one?
You hear that?
Yeah. There you go.
Coyotes.
That son of a bitch he's hanging on by his tail.
Y'all hear them Kentucky coyotes going on?
That shooting thing is, that thing's there.
Holy shit.
He's still alive.
Put a headshot on him so he's right in his ear.
Right in the ear.
Did you?
Yeah.
He done now. I seen his breath come out.
Look at that.
What can I see?
Look at that.
Well,
Okay,
I
shining
can-
the light on it. Look at that scope.
Man, these coons are tough. Sometimes a double tap just don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the triple tap.
He's still breathing, man. Let me see it. He's still alive.
Give me that damn .2.
You hold this and I'll put it right up to his noggin.
That's what I said do last time.
When Brandon breaks out the Michael Jackson voice, it's fixing to get serious.
That's done, son.
Tied down.
I'm shooting the next one with .2.
Tell you what, they are tough now. Got to finally put one right behind his neck. And pop him.
On this full moon night, we knew the coyotes weren't going to be active, so we switched straight into coon mode.
Just because he's spread out. Yeah, we'll fight back. Coming through the fence.
Not you, Keith. Let's talk about this.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't believe.
Hey, he's still fucking moving.
I know.
Because my
They're tough, man. I got that red dot scope on this 22 on the lowest setting. It's so bright still.
really that motherfucker, dude.
Anybody want to say any last words?
He was a good about
He
that.
was. He put up a fight.
He's a fat little. He ain't good.
I might have to edit that because video with Big Mike with us.
Be sure and give us a like, subscribe, and follow us the rest of the season.